Strapping? Mental models?
Never get your first reactor.
Three, two, one, engage.
Welcome to the Reactor Podcast with your hosts, Justin Vincent and Mark Wilbur.
Well, hello, Mark. We finally have an intro.
Wow,
Can you imagine?
I can. I've heard a lot about it over the last few episodes here.
Yeah, you have learnt as well over the last, I guess, week or so. You've seen me obsess about it, and you've seen what it's like when a musician really gets kind of like the madness about something.
I don't know how that works though, because wasn't that already your music you recorded long ago?
Yeah, well, the music I recorded long ago, but all the other stuff that was put on top, the production, the different singing, the different effects, that was sort of, I just wanted it to be kind of exactly right. And sort of
So you added singers.
Added some singing. Well, so let me tell you all the different things.
Yeah.
Okay, so just for posterity, do you say posterity or
Posterity.
posterity? What did I say? Posterity. That
Yes,
sounds
it's like prosperity,
posterity sounds like prostate and
or that too. Yeah, it's like prosperity, prostate,
Okay,
posterity,
Okay, so it's it's what? It's
posterity.
posterity. Posterity. That's really difficult to remember. Posterity. Okay, I have to remember that. Anyway, for posterity's sake, I want to just talk through the different decisions about that intro because I'm kind of excited that we've got it, and I like it even though it's very strange and quirky. And I just want to explain, what it's all about. And I also think it's a testament to what we've done so far on Reactor, because a lot of it comes from the different stuff that we've been talking about over the show. To start
Cool.
with, the very name Reactor. So you know that I've been working on Slider, and I signed up to an audio sound clip library.
Yeah,
And so I searched for the term Reactor, and up came kind of sound effects like those very beginning kind of whoa kind of sounds.
okay.
Yeah. So that's like the that's like the basis of it. So it starts off with kind of like a reactor sound.
Mhm.
Then for some reason in my brain, I was thinking about a very famous 80s ad for a dime bar. Have you ever heard of do you know what a dime bar is?
A dime bar, is that like Woolworth from way back in the day, where everything
don't-
cost a dime?
No. It's like
It's a bar, though.
It's
I don't know.
It's a chocolate bar that's sort of made of like it's sort of made of like almond and sugar type thing, and then covered with milk chocolate, and it has
And
a
it
very
used-
specific taste, a very interesting taste that you've never tasted.
Maybe,
And so,
or I just don't know what's called that.
yeah, maybe it's called something different. But anyway, so it's a famous bar in Europe. I believe it came from somewhere like Scandinavia or Denmark or something. Anyway, it's got a really
Okay.
interesting taste. It's really different to like a Mars bar or one of those other things. So anyway, we had this famous comedian called Harry Enfield
Mhm.
who was hired to do an ad for that bar in the 80s. And I guess the ad agency was like, well, the taste of this is just so different. The tagline should be "Never forget your first dime." Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Harry Enfield did a bunch of ads about that. Never forget your first dime. Never forget your
Okay.
first dime.
Okay.
So for some reason that came to my mind because I was thinking, our show's already kind of weird because it's like this emergent, strange show coming, we don't even know what it is.
Yeah. We've changed it up a bit already.
So then I thought, okay, I'll say never forget your first reactor. And for some reason, reactor came into mind. Reactor. And so I just played around just doing a few different things with Jack. Like myself and Jack were recording stuff together. And so never forget your first reactor. And then when I was playing with the sound effects on that, I was like, because I have my mixer and I have various different sound effect digital racks, and it sounded like Legion. Have you ever seen Legion? Have you heard of that show, Legion? It's a great sci-fi show about this DC character who like has 1,000 people living in his head, and
Whoa.
whenever he's
There-
thinking, they use that sound effect. That very first never forget your first reactor. It has like it's called, the sound effect is called drunken party.
Okay.
so that was that. And then it comes down to the 3, 2, 1 engage.
I like that.
That came because in Slider we used to have developing the Roblox game Slider. We used to have these challenge blocks at the beginning of each challenge, because I thought that it would be fun for the kids to all start at the same time. So it's like a red transparent block covering the beginning of the course, and then it goes 3, 2, 1 engage, and the block disappears, and then everyone can go at the same time. Well, in playtesting with actual live 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds, that was a total failure.
What happened?
They just were like bored. They didn't want to wait 3 seconds.
Oh,
they
okay.
they were wandering off somewhere else, and it was just much better to just get rid of that, and they could just go anytime. But I really did like that 3, 2, 1 engage sound. So I was like, yeah, that could work there. That could work. Yeah, go on.
Were there, so this in this Roblox game that you're working on, when you had that, did you have lots of places that could go with their own timers, or was there just like one place to be, and if it's not time, you just have to wait?
There's basically, for every challenge, there was a start and an end, and the start block was covered up, so you couldn't start that actual challenge. So basically there was 6 of these challenge blocks, I call them, and they just counted down 5 seconds. But kids can't even wait 5 seconds. It's just too much.
maybe like if only the very coolest challenge had that, you could do it.
Oh, that's an interesting point. Yeah, we could do that.
Maybe.
But what I noticed was it didn't matter, because the exact same effect happens anyway. The effect that I wanted was all the kids going together, and it actually ironically seemed to happen more often without that, because they would just all fall off, and then it instantly teleports you back to the beginning, and so they would just sort of synchronistically just end up going on the track at a similar time, much more than they would when the challenge block was there. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. All right, so they're just going to go for it. So there was that. Then, did you notice that there was two singers saying reactor?
Yeah, was one of those Jack? One of them was pretty high. Yeah.
So Jack came up with the tune. So basically, I just had to put the microphone in Jack and just held it there and played it and said, sing stuff. And so he just came up with that tune right there. And he does have a history, by the way. Ever since he was 3, he has a history of like having a melodic structure that is kind of sounds like kind of cool, It's not like a kid's melodic structure. So that's kind of interesting that he did it there as well. And so then I just doubled him up so that there's a low version of me going in a kind of, I guess, like a kind of grouchy voice reactor on the other side of the headphones. And then originally we had, I thought it would be funny to do like a robot voice saying, welcome to Reactor.
I remember, yeah.
But when I sent that out to the few listeners who'd asked for it, someone sent back and said they didn't like that. They'd prefer something natural. So then Georgie did it. And so now it's the whole Vincent family, really. So.
That's amazing. Yes. One of my friends who I shared it with said, if you started singing too, then we'd know the Nazis were after you. The Von Trapp family.
Well,
Sound of Music in California.
I really thought that it's a really good feeling to think that Jack is singing there and I'm sort of backing him up. We're both sort of singing there. It's like,
I was gonna ask before, like, do you do much music with him? Because you used to be in a rock band, right?
We definitely. I mean, we have. I've certainly been. Every time he's just sort of humming to himself and he hums an interesting tune, I just note it down. So I have a lot of notes of tunes that he's come up with, and there is a lot of different. I try to make a song about everywhere we go. So like one place we went a lot is Leo Carrillo Beach. And so I have this song that we always sing together that goes like this. Leo Carrillo Beach, I got to take you to I'm gonna basically these kind of songs, I'm gonna turn them into real songs at some point. But there's just so much other shit on my plate right now.
Yeah. Once
Yeah,
he's old enough that like
yeah.
learning the guitar would be cool, I bet.
Yeah.
But there'll be some fun stuff you can do.
Yeah, so will you do me a favor and in the show notes put a link to that Harry Enfield Never Forget Your First Time?
If you give me the link,
Yeah, I already
if you do it in our own notes. Okay.
So you didn't watch it. You didn't watch it from I sent it to you in line.
Oh no, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'll check it out though. I mean, easiest way with me is just put it in the notes file in
Got
our
it.
Dropbox, and I'll get all those notes.
All right, well that's all I got to say about the intro. So
About the intro.
Thanks for
So it sounds
bearing
like
with me.
Well, it sounds like that's a big part of your update. You got the madness about the intro, worked on that. Sounds like you worked on a video game too.
Yeah. I also Nugget's going well.
It's going well.
The soft launch. But do you want to hear those updates now, or do you want to go talk about some of your stuff?
Yeah, let's just do your quick updates. Just the
Sure,
90-second version. Then I'll throw mine out.
So one sale from Nugget, so that's kind of cool. There's
Nice.
the 82 people have gone signed up for it, started it,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got like a little list, and about 6% have finished it.
6%.
6% of the 82 people, and of those, one person's purchased.
So they finished the boot camp and then bought the whole thing.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I've got. Did you? Oh, by the way, can you do a quick screen share? So I just sent Mark a quick screenshot of the stats. So you'll see it says 11% got to the end of. This is the stats, sort of how many people hit page 1, how many people hit page 2, how many people hit page 3, through to 9. So 9 is done, and when they get to the end of the boot camp, it says unlocked. You've unlocked the Startup Academy, and you've unlocked the momentum tracker. Now, on these stats, it says 11%, but about four of those people, possibly even 5 of those people, are me and existing Nugget people, who are already members of the Academy. So it really is just about 6%. But it's interesting, the drop-off, so starting off with 82 people, and a bunch of these people did come from my sister posting to her Facebook group. So they were really sort of unqualified cold leads, converse to people coming from say this podcast, or from texting, or from like a product hunt launch. So I think this is probably like a worse conversion ratio than is going to be in the future. But 48% of people went past the intro. So in other words, 40 people-ish, 50% just didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Then 50% did something. They went to the second page, and then that dropped down to 30% to the third page. And then that dropped down to 24% for the fourth page. And now you're really talking low percentages. So you can sort of see even just the funnel of getting to the end of this is tough, because people don't want to do stuff, unless they're really ready for it. But the people who, sort of halfway through the course, I send out an auto email that says, please give me your feedback. And the people who actually do make it through and who reply to me are like, this is amazing. This is
That's good. That's
really
good.
Yeah.
So that's the whole goals update.
I stayed kind of within my blood sugar range, not too bad, and that is the goals update. Yeah.
Are you tracking it now? Because for a while you needed to get a replacement.
Oh, I've got it. Yeah,
tracker.
I'm tracking.
You got that.
You know what would be cool would be now that we've got a really good intro. Sorry I know I'm interrupting you, and you really want to do.
I know.
Really
well, I just want to do actually, it's exactly like what I said with Nugget. Since we're on a tangent, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Just dig that fractal rabbit hole a bit deeper, as I always do. So I think this is just like the situation with what I was saying with Nugget. Like, I think it's easier if you do a really shallow first pass, or like same thing like when I was teaching English to Chinese speakers. Like, I didn't go through all of the adverbs in the dictionary and then all of the prepositions. It was just like a quick pass. Same thing with like teaching tenses. I didn't, belabor like the present tense for a whole year, like my high school.
Oh, you're
French
talking about
class
the boot
did.
camp now.
I'm talking about everything. If you do a quick pass over lots of stuff, then loop in deeper, it's easier because it's like you give a table of contents or you give an introductory paragraph, and then you drill into more detail.
You're talking about what I'm saying right now.
I'm talking about the intro, or I'm talking about just the goals update. So it's not that I'm just like itching to do it first thing all the time, but when we go through goals, I like to just get the high level really quick, and then we can elaborate on the specific parts later.
So that's very different to my other podcast.
That one, I think you do that sometimes, and other times your co-host will interrupt you and tell a long but charming story of something from decades ago. But
yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, apologies to
just
listeners.
like a mastermind.
Apologies to
a
you.
mastermind.
I'm so sorry. I've been super excited about the intro.
It is cool. Well, the intro is cool,
and about the
intro.
boot camp.
The intro is special. There's a lot of lead up. So if anyone doesn't care about the intro, they haven't been listening to the last several episodes. They've just shown up, and screw those people. We'll be nice to the people who just show up on normal episodes, but not this one.
Okay. Well, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I hear
I'll
you.
just do the quick version. The not so after my 2 minutes of complaints or suggestions, I'll give my quick update. That is, my number one goal was diet. Mm-hmm. And that's mostly gone great. I've lost another 2.5 centimeters on my stomach, so it's now down to 123, just 2 away from the first milestone I said that would give me more motivation to go longer. Had a little bit of difficulty on compliance though. I got a little carried away. Only ate one meal on an eating day, and just had a really, really rough fasting day the day after that. But all in all, it's good. I did not get any videos published on Alchemist Camp. I've got some, but I threw away the recorded one because I decided I wanted to do actually a different kind of video for this new series. I was trying to do an introductory one that was a little bit broader, would give people an idea of what they were getting into and motivate them to dig into the series some more. And I have refactored some stuff in Phoenix Igniter, but not shipped it yet. And unrelated to my direct input this past week, I've also had incredible sales for this month, had a bunch of yearly renewals, and some new people sign up yearly. So I am almost at 4,000 for the month.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, well, first of all, let's just take a second to congratulate you on that. That is a fantastic achievement, and that's what you're really that's what this whole thing is about. So that's really, really awesome.
A huge part. Yeah.
So now that's good. Let's talk about one bad thing which you just said.
Okay.
Do you think that your fasting fail was because you were so excited about it on the last show, and it speaks to that effect where if you really speak about it and you really get into it and you really tell people about it, it makes you feel like you've had this huge achievement, which then saps some willpower of the actual thing moving forward.
No, I don't think it was that at all. Actually, it's the opposite. Knowing that I have this conversation coming up, and also knowing that this isn't going to air for a month and a half or a month probably, because I'm slowly getting caught up in that as well. That makes me feel like, man, I've really got to kick ass at this, because there are tens of viewers that are going to see me fail, or they're going to see me talk about these big goals and not do it. Tens, I said. Tens.
At least, it's going to be.
Maybe hundreds of listeners.
Danilo,
he'll have a comment for me.
He is the main interactive person right now.
Yeah, well, and my buddy Liam.
And Danilo and Liam are they're gonna shame you.
I think they'll be nice, but it's still like added pressure. My mistake was the opposite. I just push it too far. And I think that's, probably because I used to be super into sports, especially like kind of crazy endurance sports. So I kind of refed. I went to a party, had like like almost a whole pizza myself, and great time. And I saw like my stomach was like, wow, and I was still like, I'm even like another centimeter lower than when I checked on Friday. And maybe because of that, like refeeding over the weekend, on Monday, I just felt like, yeah, it's an eating day, but I just need one. One meal's fine. That's enough. So I only had like 700 calories on Monday. Then Tuesday, throughout the day, I didn't physically feel that bad, but I found myself planning out like everything I was going to eat on Wednesday today. And it was super distracting. And then I started getting a little bit lightheaded, probably like low electrolytes, something like that. That happens sometimes when people aren't so used to fasting. So I just pushed it too far. And that did hurt my running a little bit. But, I've eaten a ton today, and I think I'll be fine tomorrow.
I see.
So,
cool.
Yeah, it's easy to get carried away, especially with a physical goal, because you sometimes don't anticipate like your physical limitations in the future as much as you should when you're motivated.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, we'll see you by next week.
Let me know when I can get back into the weeds.
You can get in the weeds. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
I
was
got
thinking.
my updated.
Good job. I was thinking that. A couple of things. The audio of the intro is pretty cool now. Do you think that we might want to consider doing better audio for the actual podcast at some point?
It's funny you mention that. I have some more good news.
Okay.
Usually when I do a big sale on Alchemist Camp and have more money, I immediately go out and buy a whole bunch of screencasts and books and things like that. And I looked at the book publishers I usually go to, like Prague and Manning, and I already have all the books about everything that I'm interested in. So this time I bought a new microphone, and it is on the way to Taiwan right now.
Oh, what microphone did you buy?
I tried to get the one that Ben Orenstein recommended on Twitter and in his podcast, The Art of Product.
Oh, and does he sound good?
Yeah. Well, he sounds good, and the thing that I love about it is he mentioned like, oh yeah, you could have like someone doing construction with a jackhammer on the street outside, you wouldn't hear it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a different kind of microphone.
It's a shotgun microphone. It's like a
no,
shotgun.
No, dynamic.
Oh, and does it
So
go right? Does it go next to your mouth?
Close. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Perfect.
So I tried to order that one, but it's been discontinued. And so I looked for like the closest alternative to it, and I am getting, which I don't have the full name of it at hand, but I'll put it in the show notes. Getting a Samson microphone with like one of those like arm mounts, so it'll be near my face.
Perfect.
And
that's great.
Then it's going to help. It should make the quality for this much better. So I think when the quality sounds bad, it's because this Blue Yeti, which is nice in general, picks up too much room noise, and then Zoom corrects it, and that makes it kind of tinny.
Very strange, yeah.
Yeah. Whoa, you just got way quieter. Hello?
Hello?
You got way quieter. Did you move your mic?
That's really strange. It changed my input volume. How's
Oh,
that?
okay. Yeah, now you're normal.
That's really weird how it can just randomly change input volume.
I think that was Karma.
How about I do like this?
That's a little bit too loud.
So this was good. This is the one.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Yeah, that's very odd. Probably
think it
was
was
karma
karma.
for me asking the
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
You're like, your sound quality is kind of
No, I wasn't actually saying that your sound quality was crap. I was saying that the sound quality, because we always go from the Zoom audio. I was just
Yeah.
wondering, should we like level up our game, get good mics, and go from the real audio from the mics rather than the Zoom audio moving forward? But that sounds great. If you've got that new mic, that is perfect.
It's on the way. I think it'll be here the 2nd of September.
Wow, this show is gradually going to get better and better over time. This is the perfect example of
Gradually, yeah.
gradual iteration. Yeah.
Continual improvement.
Do you think that it's worth doing the videos?
Yeah, I think that's totally worth it. I think for any kind of show like this, the video's really good idea. Podcasts in and of themselves don't really have a good organic growth channel. Like the only one is your friends are recommending you, or your audience is recommending you to their friends.
So then why is our audio stats going up and up and up, but our YouTube stats not moving?
Our YouTube stat went up. Like,
Oh, they did?
I just got an update today. Yeah, it's up to 24 subscribers, and
Really?
watch time is up like another 10% or something. So
What the
it's
heck?
going up, but it's so it had a huge spike when I put out a bunch of clips,
Okay.
and I did that over like 3 days. I haven't done any more clips. However, every video that I've recorded or that we've recorded since then, like when I do the show notes, I have been writing down times and comments of specific clips.
I think that this time next year, this show is going to be so glitzy and glam. We're going to
I
have
hope
like a
not.
studio audience. We're going to have girls who introduce us.
And we're going to have episode after episode of missing our goals because we're worried about the podcast.
Obviously, I'm just kidding. There's going to be none of that.
Yeah. That would, yeah. So I had a couple other topics.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, one is a screen sharing topic, but I would say I am pro skill enough with this that we can just leave this in the audio, because I'm going to look at the screen and I'm going to pretend that I don't see it. I'll just say what's on it.
Cool.
Yes. So this blog post did very well on Hacker News. It was basically a list of the top 50 YC startups and by their current valuation, and what tech stacks they used. And it's pretty interesting to look at. So number one was Stripe. They're valued at 36 billion, which is like a double-digit percentage of all YC companies, I think. They used Ruby. Then 2 was Cruise, used C++ and Python. 3 was Airbnb, used Ruby. And DoorDash used Python. Twitch used...
Just hold on a second. These are all billion-dollar companies?
Yeah. These are all like $10 billion plus companies.
I just think that's really worth noting that Stripe 36 billion, Cruise 19 billion, Cruise is more than Airbnb 18 billion, DoorDash 16 billion, Twitch 15 billion, Instacart 13 billion, Dropbox 8 billion, and Dropbox was the big one.
Back in the day, it was like Dropbox and Airbnb were the 2 biggest.
Coinbase 8 billion, Gusto
Yeah.
3.8 billion. Okay.
And Coinbase is newer also, which is interesting.
Yeah. Wow. That's impressive.
Thing that's kind of amazing, though, is looking at the languages for the top 10. Number 1,
Ruby.
Number 3,
Ruby.
Number 6, 7, and 8 were all Ruby.
Oh, no, you missed Twitch. That was Ruby too.
And 10 was Ruby. Yeah, so it's basically like this is dominated by companies that use Ruby. Most of them use Rails as well. And the next biggest was Python. And on Hacker News, where I found this, a whole bunch of people were saying like, "Oh, I can't believe that! Like, why I would never use Ruby. Like, what happened here?" And I think what, at least my takeaway from this is, people were at least starting with stuff that wasn't optimized for scale, but just had a really nice framework, so they could get stuff out the door quickly.
It gets stuff done. Is there any PHP on the list?
There is, but it's really underrepresented, and I think that's because of the Silicon Valley focus.
Let's see. Who's PHP? There's
There
one.
we go. Razorpay
Razorpay and Weebly.
and Weebly.
Weebly. Couldn't it be a cooler name? Come on. Message
Yeah.
Bird.
Yeah. So that was
That's good. So that's Charlie's
Kind
blog.
of neat finding.
Charlie's blog, Y Combinator Top 50 Software Startups, and Mark will put that in the show notes. That's very cool.
Yeah. Well, then the other thing that was interesting to me is I screwed up on our last podcast. So quick correction: your Justin's bootleg notes you have on your Nugget page is not an 8-track cassette.
Oh,
It's a 16, and I should know that because my grandfather was an inventor of the 8-track. He actually did a lot of work on the 16-track too, but he didn't navigate so well on the business side and didn't get any money out of that. But
mine wasn't a 16-track. It's just 2-track.
it was just a 2-track.
Just
Okay.
a regular standard.
Just the one from the 80s.
Just a 2-track cassette, which is basically just a stereo cassette each side, and you can flip it.
Yeah, I don't even know what they all look like because I was a little kid in the 80s.
You're too young.
And
You're too young.
yeah.
You barely know what a CD is. You're just like computer. You grew up with a Rio was probably the first thing you saw.
No, I had CDs. I had CDs.
You had CDs?
And
Okay.
but I had like 10 or 12 CDs. And then I went to college and soon had like 1,000 MP3s.
Oh man, you
At least someone in my
really
dorm
missed
did.
something. I'll tell you this: kids of your generation really missed something because, like, going out and buying like a big vinyl album was such an experience. It was like I don't know. It was like what's the word? It was like a ritual. It's like a ritual.
Really?
And the artwork was so huge, and just the whole experience of it, and like the touch and the feel of it, and then putting it on your record player. I feel sorry for your generation.
I have bought T-shirts from just like random kind of like indie stores, like in the late 90s, that they would wrap using like old records from like, I don't know, like 70s Christian music or something that like they were never going to sell.
Mm-hmm. Like, I definitely would say you have the kind of character that would have really appreciated buying an album, going out and buying an album.
Really?
You're the kind of person. It's very it's just a very sort of creative craft type experience.
Okay.
In that
I was
sense.
kind of thought they were a scam though.
Yeah. Well, how comes?
Because like there might be like 3 songs I would want on an album, and then I'd like never listen to anything else. But I couldn't just buy those 3 songs. Like I had to buy the whole album with other stuff I don't want.
Well, that's the reason. That's the whole point of albums, is that you actually force yourself to love the entire thing.
Oh my gosh.
No, but like an album like take for example, do you like David Bowie at all?
Yeah, a little bit, but I haven't gone deep into his stuff.
Like an album like Hunky Dory by David Bowie. Like if you listen to that whole thing, you just keep listening to the whole album, there's very strange songs on it which you gradually begin to really, really like. Well, me anyway.
Okay. Okay.
And it's a big part of it. I'd say that would be true of a lot of Lady Gaga's type albums. But yeah, I guess the thing now is to just sort of focus in on the single songs, the very specific experience. Yeah, it's not so much about the album. Got it.
Yeah, or also I was like a stingy teenager, so I'm sure that has a lot to do with it.
Okay. Your video is very your head is just very close to the bottom of the video.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can increase the height of my chair.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's about as high as it gets now.
That's good. Yeah. That's centered.
All right.
Yeah. So, what else?
What else? That's really most of it. I got a new book. It's called the Big Leap or the Great Leap.
Yeah.
And it was by like a psychologist. I found it because the founder of Income School, which is like a YouTube channel / membership site that teaches people how to build, basically how to build like niche blogs, like niche sites, and monetize them with affiliate stuff or make your own courses, that kind of thing. The founder from that wrote a book that my friend bought, and he said, well, the book wasn't really very good. The only good thing in it was this recommendation to buy this other book. So I bought the other book, which was The Big Leap. And it's got a kind of interesting idea in it. Basically, it's the idea that people, about a set point for your body weight. Like you've got a certain weight you're used to, and if you get lighter than that, your body wants to eat more, and if you're over that, you want to eat less. And part of why I'm doing the alternate day fasting is to kind of break that. There's also a set point for happiness and a set point for how successful you feel okay with. And if you get way below it, then you'll be like, oh, geez, like I really need to just focus down and get some things done and improve my life. And if you're way above it, you might just be like, everything is great. I don't need to work on anything. And I think it's like a lot of books written by psychologists. Like it's kind of idiosyncratic. It's based on his his previous clients, and but at least for me, I kind of it resonated pretty well. And I was thinking, it's like, I definitely kind of do that. Like after hitting some level with fitness or social goals, or even Alchemist Camp, I kind of coast a bit more, and then other times where I feel like I'm below that set point, I really want to push harder. So I haven't read far enough to get to the more tactical parts that I assume are coming up, but
I think that makes a lot of sense. And on sort of doubled up with that is this idea of competition. Like when you find out someone who you consider to be your peer and your equal is doing 10x better than you at something, that will generally irk you and sort of force you to go, oh, I guess my set point was much worse than I thought it was. I need to be as good as this person.
Yeah. I think so. Like, especially if it's someone you know well. It's like your old roommate from college or something like that. It's like, what? Like that guy is doing this well? Like, well, if he can, then so can I.
Yeah, that's definitely has a big impact on your set point. I think that happiness set point is probably quite variable.
I think so. It's supposedly it's about half genetic, but you can alter it quite a bit as well.
Interesting.
And I kind of have the similar belief as what you talked about in texting with or I guess more Jason talked about in texting with even with things where there's a big genetic component, like say how strong you are, if there might be some percentage of that can be predicted just by knowing someone's genes or their parents. But if you use like a very focused intervention, like modern weightlifting strategies, you can take someone whose parents were very slight, and they're not going to be like as big as The Rock, but they could be far stronger than the average person, not even just than their parents. And I think that's probably true with things like happiness. We just don't have the same quantitative research and science and experimentation behind it.
Mm-hmm. I believe that. There was one thing that I wanted to mention to you is I've been doing a bit of research about there's two things actually. One of them is I am starting after today's show with a private trainer virtually. So that's one thing. Anwar, who I used to work with before, but now, so I'll be doing like an hour-long session. That's one thing, because I want to get a bit more health stuff going on, a bit more movement type stuff, because I've literally been like a vegetable here since coronavirus. And then, what were you going to say?
Is that the super slow guy?
Well, he originally started off as super slow. That's where I met him. But then we moved out of that environment and just went to a regular gym environment, and it wasn't super slow anymore. It was just something tailored to me, just using regular gym equipment, and that was great. And then I've really, really noticed the difference of just my general functional fitness, my functional physical, being able to move around and stuff has definitely gone downhill since coronavirus. So, but that was even just moving away, because we used to live in Pasadena, and now we've moved out to Arrowhead, and I stopped working with him when we moved here, but it was about the same time as coronavirus. But anyway, so now we're going to do that virtually. So that's the first one today. So that's going to be good. And the second thing is I'm going to get a rebounder or a mini
What's that?
trampoline. A mini trampoline.
Oh, okay.
So it's on the way, and I've been doing a fair amount of research about this. And as with all things, not all rebounders / mini trampolines are created equal, and there's different price points. And the one that I'm getting is pretty expensive, and it's from Europe, made by a company called Bellicon. And so the thing about and it's good because it uses bungees instead of springs. So I've tried rebounders before, and I've always really thought, oh, this is boring, this is terrible. But from all the videos on YouTube and all the I guess the literature about it, the Bellicon rebounder is just like basically a trampoline, not a.
How big is it?
It's well, they do different sizes, but the one I'm getting is 49 inches. It's pretty big. It's the biggest, and they do pretty different strength chords as well. But basically, I do really enjoy just general trampolining, which is a lot of fun. And I think this is very good, and it's very effective cardio workout if you can do it and if you like it. So it's another test. I don't know if I'm really going to like it, but I think it's a test worth doing, because there's a lot of good features about it. Like, you don't need to even put shoes on. You just sort of jump on it and just start doing it, and it makes you feel like a kid, apparently, with this brand, because
you already ordered it.
Already ordered it. It's on the way.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm waiting for it. It's going to be here next week, I think.
I have a couple thoughts. Like one is, if you ever go to House of Air, or have you heard of that?
Is that what Jason was talking about? Place full of trampolines?
I don't know if it's where he went, but there was a place I went to in San Francisco 3 or 4 times with people from Hack Reactor. Yeah. And they've got one area with slanted walls on the sides.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
People play a game inside of it. It's like a dodgeball game with trampolines. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Then the other area is just a lot of large trampolines. And of course, there are, hard bars holding them up in between them. So you have to jump from trampoline to trampoline. And, I just had a blast there. I did backflips, with trying to get to where I could do just one land, another, just loop. Did some higher bounces where I would aim for the wall and then try to kick off of it and stuff like that. And then the next week, after the last time I went, it was literally the next week, there was someone that I knew that worked at Airbnb that went there with them that broke his leg. And I was like, ugh, maybe.
Well, I think
this isn't the best. It's fun, but maybe I don't want to be playing this too much.
Well, there's a big difference between that type of environment, especially because the reason why they break their legs is because there's the hard bits in the middle. With something like this, you can't even do something like a knee bounce or a bum bounce or something like that. It's essentially just bouncing on your feet, so you're not going to fall off it. There's no, from the research that I've done, there's nowhere near the level of accidents on something like this as there is on a big trampoline, because it's just much smaller. But what does come up a lot is that people seem to stick with it because it has that feeling of fun. It's like that general feeling of weightlessness that you get from a good trampoline experience. And apparently it's actually even better than those larger trampolines, because the bungees themselves have sort of been they've created them on a nano type level, where they have this really cool, it's like a soft, you go into it very soft, but then it sort of snaps back. So it doesn't jar you in any way. It doesn't jar your back. Particularly this brand. This is what I've been looking at compared to the MetaSprings.
Yeah, I would think the main risk on a normal trampoline when you're not like doing flips, playing games on them, is just catching a bad bounce and kind of bouncing, doing a double bounce when you just wanted one and going off in a weird direction.
Oh yeah, like because someone else is on the trampoline with you or something.
Or just that you get off, you just get out of sync with the movement of the trampoline. But,
so we'll see. We'll see how it is. But I mean, just person after person just was like, this is the surprising form of exercise that I had never tried before and never considered that I actually do, because I get on it because you just kind of want to, because it's just a fun thing to do, makes you feel like a kid, and then once you're doing it, you just sort of keep doing it because it's just fun. And it has a couple of things, like it essentially exercises every single muscle in your body type of thing, because it's just like completely freeform. You know what I mean? So you sort of go up in the air and then all of your muscles relax, and then you go down and all of your muscles contract, and you don't even notice it because you're kind of having fun. So, and there's other stuff about the
it's low impact is probably the other big thing.
So we'll see what happens. But I've got that on the way. So those two things are my attempt to, because I think the main problem with me is the movement stuff, not the eating stuff. I think I've got the eating stuff down with the chip salad.
That's like the opposite of me.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how it goes.
Yep.
So should we do goals for next time?
Sure.
All right. So my number one goal is still diet, believe it or not.
Okay.
I want to just keep at it. Keep on the plan. I'm gonna be less concerned about what I'm eating on the eat days. Just get 3 days of fasting in, and I think I can basically not worry about the others that much, because I'm still making really good progress.
Okay.
And goal number 2 is get 2 videos published on Alchemist Camp.
But what about Igniter?
Igniter that's still something I'm working on for sure, but I have more external pressure right now to work on Alchemist Camp.
Okay.
Because I just threw away 2 videos I was going to publish, made one new one that's a better that I believe is a better version.
Okay.
And I've gotta at least get those out. And Igniter, I'm just gonna keep at it around the edges.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Probably first step of that's going to be just doing the Phoenix 1.5 upgrade.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all for me. I'm really looking forward to getting that new mic. I think that can speed
I'm excited
up everything.
about that too. Yeah. That'd be great. Well, for me, I want to get 5 interviews done where, like, over what is this thing called, Zoom? So I'm going to on the final checkout page for the boot camp for the academy. So when you've done the boot camp, then you unlock the academy, and then you go to a page to purchase. And then I want to have 5 videos from you, and we'll do an interview like this, and then from another four folks on that page. I want to try and get as many of those done by next week as possible. And then the other thing I want to do by next week, and I'm going to do this before I even do those videos, is just announce the boot camp to my 6,000 mailing list. Yeah, because I can see that it takes people a pretty long time to get through this thing anyway. So it's not like I have to get those videos there. Plus, also, I've already seen that it makes a sale as it is right now. I just think that the videos will add to the compellingness of the sale.
I can definitely see that. So just the boot camp part, it takes quite a while. Like, how long of the people that have completed it, like how long have they been taking?
I'm glad you asked that, because I can tell you, because I built a stat system to track that. Let's see. It's about a week.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
Oh no, it's not. It's not like some huge amount of time. I mean, people can do it in an hour. I mean, looks like Danilo did it in an hour. But it takes most, like, of the few people who've done it, they've tended to have taken about a week. Do it in bits and pieces,
cool.
And those nudge emails from Laura really help.
Yeah, I like those too. I already said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sounds like a good plan.
Cool. Yeah. So for health, just going to be the same. Just try and keep in range, and looking forward to the mini trampoline coming and see what that does.
Don't break a leg.
Thanks. I won't. Okay. Well, this has been a good show, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again next time.
All right. Till then. Bye.
We probably need an outro as well, by the way.
Do we? No.
No outro. No outro.
Do you have one for texting?
Yeah,
I
of
don't
course.
remember.
Yeah.
Wow.